Right here in New York today, I sat down with President Obama to get the very latest on Muammar Gaddafi and whether the U.S. will have to go even further, even giving arms to the rebels in Libya. Today, the rebels seem to be under assault by Gaddafi's forces, taking big casualties. And at the same time, in the nearby country of Syria, President Bashar Assad was forced to promise big changes there, streets filled with protesters. But in my interview with the president, I started by asking about Gaddafi and those reports that he is trying to make a deal. As of this moment, any sign Gaddafi wants out?
Well, I think what we're seeing is that the circle around Gaddafi understands that the noose is tightening, that their days are probably numbered, and they're going to have to think through what their next steps are. But as I have been very clear about throughout, there's certain things they can do that will send a signal that he's ready to go. Until that time, we're going to keep on applying pressure, and hopefully he's going to be getting the message soon.
If Gaddafi ends up in a villa someplace in Zimbabwe with no war crimes trial, is that okay with you?
Well, you know, that's not going to be my decision alone. I will tell you, though, that the first step is for Gaddafi to send a signal that he understands the Libyan people don't want him ruling anymore, that 40 years of tyranny is enough. You know, once he makes that decision, I think the international community will come together and make a determination as to what the most appropriate way of facilitating him stepping down will be.
Have you made any, or would you make any calls to say take him?
We have not gotten to that stage yet.
We are hearing tonight it's fierce fighting. The U.S. must send munitions. How long would it take to get there?
Well, you know, I wouldn't speculate on that. I think that it's fair to say that if we wanted to get weapons into Libya, we probably could. We're looking at all our options at this point. But keep in mind what we've accomplished. We have instituted a no-fly zone that can be sustained for quite some time because it's an international effort.
Can we say that we could have it in there in a day, in 2 days?
Well, I'm not going to talk about you know, operations like that at that level.
I want to try to clarify what you were saying today to the people of Syria. We specifically asked the president, is he saying to the protesters in Syria that if they meet the 5 criteria he laid out last night, are you saying to them, we will be there for you as we were there in Libya?
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that those are the criteria that I consider in making a very difficult decision about whether to apply military force. I don't know if those circumstances could be duplicated anyplace else. Those are the kinds of criteria that I examine, but I'm not going to start right as we're in a very complex operation in Libya, start projecting out about all the other countries in which this would apply.
Even if these paper criteria are met?
Well, as I said, Diane, I think in each situation I've got to examine how does this measure up in terms of our interests, the international community's interests, what exactly would any military intervention accomplish, understanding that there's significant costs and risks involved in that, and understanding that our military is already very overstretched.
What about the famous quote from another beleaguered president, Abraham Lincoln, who said he had been driven many times to his knees because his own wisdom and that around him was insufficient for the day?
I do a lot of praying, absolutely, every night, right before I go to bed. You know, I am praying that I'm making the best possible decisions, and that I've got the strength to serve the American people well. I think on Libya, we've gotten it right. That doesn't make it easy. It just means that we made the right decision for that moment.
Just a final question. How much do you think Kentucky will win by?
Diane, I will make this point. You know, a lot of folks focused on the fact that I'd filled out my bracket. Obviously, I hadn't been spending that much time studying it since I don't have anybody in the Final Four. Congratulations to Kentucky.
Make that my Kentucky. And by the way, on that avalanche of crises the president faces every day, from Libya to Iraq to Afghanistan to nuclear crises in Japan, the president goes home every day to talk to his daughters about his day. I ask him, what What does he say to them about days like this? And you can see that at abcnews.com/worldnews.